Hello there. Hello, 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 hello. My Renaissance grandma, how you doing? Cruising is fun anytime. Yes, it is. I just hate being out on all that water. Unless I'm the captain. That means I'm not going too far from shore. Let me see if we get anybody else in here. But for you two wonderful ladies that are here, I'm going to talk about this lady right here. Well, I don't know whether anybody come or not because this is just a pop up for me. And I figured today would be the best time to come on because my mother's birthday is coming up soon, and I doubt if I want to do a live on her birthday. How you doing, Deborah Garrett? How you doing? And like I said, I don't want to come up on her birthday because I know what it's going to be like. I won't be the only one with tears. My wife and the grandkids and the great grands that be here, they'll be having tears too. So I think this is the best time to do it instead of doing it on her birthday. Growing with Hudson, how you doing? Urban Harvest, how you doing? No, I don't. I don't. I don't plan to beat. I don't plan on beating. I won't hit a woman. If I get a problem with a woman, I'll let my wife handle it. But other than that, I'm not gonna beat down no woman, word or physically. I bring it every day. How you doing, sis? Cheryl Faulkner, how you doing? We talking about that lady that created the honey slanger. And I'm not gonna say she slang honey, but from what I remember, my mother she was she put a smile and a nice looking dress on in a heartbeat. G Mama Groves, how you doing? How you doing? I'm not gonna prolong because I got napkins and everything sitting right here because I don't know what's gonna happen with me. Uh, I'm gonna kind of come back from what I did before, how I thought my mother was actually my big sister. But once we got past all that, man, I had an outstanding mother. And whatever she said, that's what she meant. There wasn't no trying to get around it. What she said is what she meant. And my mother was always like that. I think until when my mother hit 60, I think about 60 years old, 60, 65, that's when she started slowing down and you can kind of get your way with her. Me, I never got my way with her, but my kids, shoot, they loved it because she let them do what they wanted to do. Uh, Experience with Sassy, how you doing, sis? I don't think I missed anybody else, but we're talking about my mother, and I'm gonna put the link in a little bit in case y'all want to come up. This is not just my memories, but if your mother's still living, I thank you for that, and I know you thank God for it. And for those that a mother is gone, I know you got a bunch of good experiences and a lot of memories and everything. And this is what it is right here. Like I said, all the memories. Like if your mother's here, you got tons of memories. But if your mother's gone, you got a whole bunch of memories. Sometime when you look at your own children, you think about what your mother used to tell you. And hey, mom's got it going on. I was partially raised by my grandparents, and one thing I could say, when my granddaddy beat one person, he beat everybody. And like everybody else, I go run into my grandmother, and we can get away with it for a while. But I, well, I should have took it down, but this is my parents' wall that I'm next side. If you notice, I'm not in my regular office. In-laws came in, and I had to give that room up. But I got both my grandmothers right here, and that was a picture of my mom that I showed from the beginning. And these ladies, these ladies were outstanding. My my mother's mother, I was raised with her, and I thought she was my mother, and she got all the accolades of a mother until I found my mother. And my father's grandmother, I didn't know her until I was about 17 years old. And yeah, about 17 years old is when I first met her. And after that, I fell in love with her. She'll tell you there's nothing like a first grand. And I'm the first grand. She tells everybody, as big as Rusty I am, she said, there's nothing like a first grand. Nothing like a first grand. And hey, she put love in my heart for my father. I put it that way. She could, all the stuff that used to come up when she talked, everything just kind of eased away. But we're not talking about the older ladies in my life. I love them both dearly. But we're speaking about my mother. Uh, Shannon, 2003. How you doing? That's it. If I forget to say hello or anything, please, it's nothing personal. I just don't want to lose track when I'm talking about my mother, because that was my heart for a long time. And I'm gonna tell you about a few of the situations and stuff. And I tell you, I'm not gonna. We were on a Greyhound bus going from New York City to Albany, New York, and my mom, she told the guy was kind of drunk or whatever, and he had a cigarette and he was leaning over my head. And my mom told him, "You need to move. If the mash is going, my son, you're gonna burn my son." And he was talking all stupid and everything. And the next thing I know, my mother, she got up, and my mother always wore pointed heels. My mother, she got up. We were sitting across from each other, and she got up. We was on the Greyhound bus. She got up. The next thing I know, she was on top of that man, beating him with the shoe. And it was kind of funny, but it was serious too. Other people was looking and everything. Ain't nobody tried to help him because they saw my mother told him get from over me with that cigarette. And the bus driver, he finally stopped. He kicked the dude off the bus, and everybody come over to me. You all right? You all right? Yeah. Then everybody catering to me, and I'm the way I'm looking at. I'm asking my mother, is she all right? Because I saw my mother just jumped on this dude and start beating him with a shoe. So I was concerned about my mother, but everybody else was concerned about me. I think I was 7 years old, and they was concerned about me and not my mother, but I was concerned about my mother, and that's all that was on my mind, was worrying about her, because I saw her. She she might have some Superman in her or something, because the only thing I saw was she stood and she leaped. And she was on top of him, beating him with a shoe. I think she was, when she was telling him, "You need to move from over my son," I think she was taking her shoes off then. I guess she knew what she had to do. Uh, She's Sunshine. How you doing? Patty, Southern Kitchen and more. Nikki, the ODC chick. Anne Marie, how y'all doing? It's good to see you. Ruthie, this and that. How you doing? That's one of the incident with my mother's, and another incident where we had I think it was a old Chevy, and we broke down. We left Albany. We were in New York, and we broke down in the middle of nowhere. and they had pay phones. That's when you actually put the nickel, dime, a quarter in, and you could talk to somebody. But now you know how it is now. And I was trying to stay on the outside of the booth, but she put me inside the booth about like to smother me because it was late at night and some people were stopping. You need a hand, you need a hand. And my mother, she said, no, we all right, we all right. And she called her big brother, and it took her brother, I think, like an hour and a half to get to us or whatever. And that's the I spent the majority of that time in the phone booth. She opened the door to talk to me, but other than that, she closed the phone booth and she was standing guard in front of the phone booth. And I'm just I'm keeping playing with the buttons and stuff and pulling down the little thing, see if any money will fall out of it. Next thing you know, you hungry? She give me a little piece of candy or something. She took care of me. And I don't know if you people may know. Well, I take it back. There's some older people in here that you may know. Mom's Mabley. That used to be my babysitter. I didn't know who she was at the time. I found out about 6 months later who she was. And we used to live in the basement. She lived right above us. And she was my babysitter when my mom would go to work and everything. And my mom, she'll give me money. All right, this is your lunch money for school, such and such. And they gave us lunch in school anyway because I was young. I bring the money home and I buy me the Kool-Aid was 5 cents for a pack of Kool-Aid, and you take it home, make your own Kool-Aid and all that stuff. I would get me about 3 or 4 packs of Kool-Aid, and I go home and I'd be making Kool-Aid and drink Kool-Aid. And Mom's maybe she give me that Kool-Aid right there, boy. And where you want my Kool-Aid? She went and made a big thing of Kool-Aid. Start selling Kool-Aid right there on the next side the Bannister house and all that stuff. My mom, she took care of me. She made sure nothing happened to me. Everything wasn't good though. We had some bad times. I saw my mom get shot, and it was by her so-called boyfriend at the time. My mom, she was working. They had an argument, but my mom, she was working. She worked at the hospital that James Brown used to stay in. And actually he used to live about 3 blocks from me. He had a mansion, and then he painted it black and white. But whenever he go to the hospital, folks start doing overtime and everything. And my mom, she worked like 3 or 4 days without coming home. She would call me before I got up to go to school, and she'll call me when I came home. And then I think it was like a Thursday, Friday, she came home, and her boyfriend said she was out fooling around and all that. And he shot her. And by the grace of God, she kept living. And she said, "You going back to your grandma." I went to my grandmother for about 3 months, and then I came back where she was at. And I'm trying not to use that paper right there. But the thing to it is, she did so much for me. I remember when I go to church, I think I was the only child in the church that wore a suit every Sunday. The other little kids, they used to take and they have a shirt and pants on and everything. But for some reason, I always had a suit on Sunday. And I guess she was training me how to be a man. I always had a suit on no matter what. And I think that's why the way I am now, I prefer being casual. I might have the same thing. If you meet me, I'd rather be wearing a shirt and a pair of work pants and everything. I don't try to get difficult unless I have to. But she took care of me. I loved her. And I'm gonna skip a lot. I'm gonna go to my teen years. My last whooping that she gave me, I was 17 years old. I told her I was dropping out of school, and she said, okay. She said, okay. But that's all she said was okay. But the next thing she said was, come here. And when I came there, that woman, she put a hurting on me. I think I still got some of the bruises now. When she got finished, I graduated. I was number 36 out of, I think it was 900 some students. I was number 36. That was the rating I had in that out of high school. I was number 36 out of 900 some students. So you know that beating had to do something for me. When I joined the military and everything, it kind of hurt me because I was leaving my mother, and the fella she with, he never married her or anything. Excuse me. And this glass is for the ladies. This is for all the mothers. I decided not to drink out my jug tonight. This is for the ladies. But when I joined the military, I was kind of sad because I was leaving my mother. But I'm grateful for one thing, was the way she raised me and everything. I was never in need of anything. Anything I desired, anything I want, I always had it. And when I joined the military, it was a little rough because I was leaving my mother, and she told me, said, "You're a grown man now." But I knew what I was leaving the situation I was leaving her in, and shortly after I left home, she left and went back to New York, and I said that was the best thing for her. And after basic training and everything, came home so happy to see her and everything. And she had a Ford, a 72 Ford, something like that. And me being big head, my license ran out while I was in basic training and all that stuff. I went up to New York where she was at, and I kind of forgot about everything. I forgot that the streets were real narrow, and people park on it. You got to weave in and out of the traffic when you going up and down the road. And I took in. I think when I should have weaved, I didn't, and I hit the driver's side view mirror and scratched up the car on the side and everything. But I was scared, and I took off. And the thing to this, I haven't been up in New York so long that I did 2 right turns and didn't know how I ended up on the expressway. So I finally got myself. I was going to get pizza, and I don't know how all this happened. Once I scraped the car, I took 2 right turns and everything. Thought I was going back home. I ended up on the expressway, and didn't know how I did it. Went down, came back. I didn't get no pizza that night. I came home, parked the car. I parked the car on the opposite side of the road. So when she come out, she'll see that the car was hit. And I said, I didn't say nothing. Just gave her keys and everything and chilled out. And she said, "I thought you was going to get pizza." I went, but I didn't go get no pizza. I just turned around, which I did kind of lie. She came out the next day, and I was up in the living room. I was watching TV, and I heard her yell, and she called my name and everything. I said, "Yes, ma'am." I went outside, and her mother also came out too. "You done got my car hit." And then I said, "Hold on, what you talking about, Mom? I don't know nothing about that." I set the car so if a car did hit it, it would be on that side. And she was fussing at me and everything. And her mother said, "Now come on, Betty. You know that could have happened right out here. One of these fools around here could have hit your car." And she just looked at her mama. I just shut up and just put my head down and let this whole scenario go through. But my mom, she She, I think she knew I did it, and let me put it this way: I think I got away with murder and stuff too. Uh, when my mother tell me something, a lot of times I didn't want to do it, but uh, when it comes down to it, you realize that she was right, and you shouldn't be hard headed. And I thank God I grew up then instead of now, because if I grew up now, I'd probably be in trouble. Uh, due to my mother raising me up, she never had to come to the police station to get me anything. Well, I did go to the police station once, but it wasn't because of me. It was that fella she had. I was only 6 years old with a Saturday night special in my pocket. We had them big old thick coats, and he had warrants and all that stuff, and stick it in my pocket. And the police, they were giving me hot cocoa and all this other stuff. I'm sitting right there, and I'm just, oh man. I said to myself, what if I would just pull it out and start playing with it? Man, I, I was a 7-year-old kid, probably done got shot up and everything, but it was in my pocket. I had a hole in my pocket, so it was like on the liner of my jacket down. It was past the pocket, and they was giving me cookies and hot chocolate and everything, and I kept my mouth closed. Her and her brother, they came and got me. They kept them locked up for the weekend, and I told my mom, I said, I got that gun in my pocket. She said, what? She said, what? I said, I got a gun in my pocket. She got the gun from me. She put it up. She said, whew. She didn't say nothing after that. She just said, whew. But I kind of knew not as a child not to play with guns anyway. All my cowboys and Indian days, I knew my toys had to be fake. We had a stick or something like that talking about a gun. That was it. Uh, Grow what you eat. Grow what I eat. How you doing, bro? She is Sunshine. How you doing? Duval, how you doing? I'm just here talking about my mother. Let me, for those that didn't see it, this lovely lady right here. That's the lady that raised me. Uh, she's and she's not a short lady. I thought my mother's almost 7 feet, but when she went to the hospital and everything, laying in the bed, they had to get another bed for her. And they were saying, how tall are you? And somebody said 6'3", something like that. My mom, she could barely talk, but she talked. I ain't no 6'3". I'm 5'11". And everybody just started busting up. She couldn't really do nothing, but when she was telling everybody how tall she was, it was kind of plain what she was saying. And uh a mother. Uh, you may have heard me sing the song before. A real good mother is hard to find. Hey, a real good mother is hard to find. Every mother is not equal. My mother never wanted to be my friend. She always wanted to be my mother. She advised me and she talked to me and everything. Even when I was in the military and a few things happened, I would call her and tell her what's what. And she said, well, I tell you what. She gave me the same line my grandmother gave me. She said, I told her about this E7 I was working with. He was the boss, and I was just a spec four. And I told her what the situation was and everything. And she said, I tell you what, tomorrow morning, buy him a cup of coffee. I said, huh? I said, we got free coffee right there in the shop. We make coffee every morning. She said, no, go buy him a cup. I said, Mom, we make the first one that comes in every day makes a whole big pot of it. She said, well, I tell you what, you be there, and when he come in, you make the coffee, you make a cup of coffee, and you take it over to his desk and give it to him and tell him have a good day. I did that. He looked at me kind of strange, but he said, thank you. He says, thank you, specialist. And I went on my way. And hey, unfortunately, I ended up taking his job. So I guess that cup of coffee actually did it. And let me see what another thing. Okay, when I went in the military, once as long as I was stationed in the States, I didn't have a problem because I was always close by my mother. But when I started going overseas, I told my mom, I said, I'm gonna open up this bank account right here. This money's just for you. If you need it for she's like, nah, you don't need it. I don't need nothing. I got all the money I need. You don't need to leave that. And I took and put my twin, his name on it, in case if I'm not around or whatever, she need money. Her name was the priority, then me, and then my so-called twin. He was on it just in case if anything ever happened and she needed some money or something. But I was making a little over $1,000, and I would give her $300 automatically every time payday come. It goes straight to her. I used to mail her money each time, but then I found out that it can come straight out of my paycheck. So I went to finance, had it come out of my paycheck, and it came out of my paycheck all the way until I got married. My wife didn't know that $300 out of my check was always going to my mother every month, and she said, "No, nah, no." Nah. She didn't. She couldn't read the LESs. She couldn't read all the military stuff. So I was good. But then I had an uncle and his wife. They went running their mouth, telling my wife about this military pay, that military pay, such and such. Oh, you can get this and you can get that, and all of a sudden, my wife she learned it like that. She said, she had my paperwork. It was time for me to go somewhere else, and she had my paperwork, and she was looking at my finances and stuff. Said, well, what's this? What's this 300? Where is this going right here? I said, oh, that's the money I got going to account so that if ever we go up there and we need money, the money is there and all that. I didn't tell her it was for my mother. But she said, no, you got to stop that. You got to stop that. So finally, I stopped it. But I was still sending her $300 every month. And that's one of the things right there. It caught me off guard one day back in 2014-15. It was Friday night, and she called me, baby. I said, what up, mom? What up? She said, I need $300. The church convention is Saturday, and I ain't got no money to get there. I need $300. I said, didn't you go to the bank? She said, oh, I didn't use that. I said, okay. I said, the only reason I'm saying did you go to the bank because it's after 6 o'clock and everything is basically closed. She said, oh, all right, then I will worry about it. And I know this fella up there where she at. I called him. I said, would you please do me a favor? Could you please give my mother $300 and Monday morning I'll send it back to you. He said, no problem, Jay. So that took place. I called her Sunday morning. She said, oh yeah, the money was dropped off Saturday morning and I was able to make it. I said, all right. So it's just that I'm the only child she had. So I figured since she took care of me, I had to take care of her the best way I can. And I know once I got married, it wasn't going to be the same as it was with me and my mother, but hey, I take care of the best way I could. And at one point, me and my mother, we had a talk, and I told her, I said, I love you and everything, but I don't like coming up here. It wasn't because of my mother, it was because family. And I had this little disagreement with my family. She said, don't worry about it. The church got to come down there every quarter every third quarter, we have to come down to Georgia anyway. So I see it in. I said, that's fine. So, but the money didn't stop. She still got the money every month. But like I said, that lady right there, I do anything for. I'm gonna be serious. If she shot somebody, I'll do the time. I love that lady. She was good to me. And here's another funny one. When I got married and everything, and we went to Germany, her and my wife always kind of bump heads. And I took and wrote a 3-page letter to my mom. And I told her how much I love her, this, that, and other. But I said, this is my wife. This is the lady I married. This is the lady I'm going to be with. And it was 3-page long. And I said, if you and her can't get along, you ain't going to never see your grandson. Because my son was born in Germany. And I said, you'll never get to see your son. I don't know what. After she read that letter, her and my wife, they was the best two ever. It seemed like my mom was actually her mom instead of being my mom. They was the best of friends. They was the best of friends. And her mom, well, I'm not gonna get into that. But anyway, I'll let her talk about her mom. But her mom, she was a nice lady. And I'll leave it there. But my mom, oh man. I don't know where to begin or where to stop on my mom. But like I said, this is Happy Mother's Day and memories, not just my memories, but other people's memories. If you want to come up, it's in the chat. You can come up and you can tell about your mom. However you please, it doesn't matter. This is not just about my mom. This is about all. Because I could tell you about my mom all day long. I could tell you about the time it was my money, but I stole the money out my own piggy bank. But hey, we lived in Long Island, New York. I mean, no, not Long Island. Where is that? We're in Long Island, so close by the airport, and the fella that was with my mother, he could work on a car, but working on the house and stuff he couldn't do. And we had a kitchen window got bust out, and my mom, she put a piece of paneling up there, and I took and pushed it out one day and said somebody broke in the house and stole the money out my bank, because my bank used to sit right in the kitchen. Hello, Cheryl. Mom, she put a piece of paneling. How you doing this? And
I'm doing fine. I gotta close the window.
I took and pushed it out one day and said somebody broke in the house and stole the money out my bank, because my bank used to sit right in the kitchen.
How you doing?
All right, and you?
You bringing back strong memories, bro.
Yeah, I know. Hey, I got paper towels sitting right here.
A mother's love is something we cannot do without.
That's it.
You know, my mother's been gone 12 years. But the years she was here, she taught me so many lessons. Yeah. Even as me as a hard-headed child, because that's what the hell I was. And I was a daddy's girl. And she knew I was a daddy's girl. But she still taught me lessons. And you brought tears to my eyes. You know, I don't cry often. I don't. But like you look,
you freezing. You freezing up.
Am I? You can't see me.
Yeah, you said something, but then you froze on it.
Enjoy the show. Should I click that? Am I still here?
Yeah, you're moving now.
Okay. Well, you have said some invaluable things that a lot of people don't know, because these young folks ain't raised by mothers the way we were raised by mothers.
Yes.
And yeah, that was great. That was a great lesson. I just had to come up and say that.
Oh, yeah. Well, like my mother taught me how to be a man, and she taught me the things that women do. So I think she taught both of them to me. My father, he taught me something too, but it kind of hurt me. He taught me how not to treat your children. And
Well, see, I was an only child, so
and I
my father spoiled the hell out of me, and my mother tried to teach me lessons that everything ain't gonna be that way. Although I was the hard headed one that, I always thought my daddy was gonna always be here, and he died before my mother did. Um, shit, my mama's been dead 12, 13 years. My dad's been dead 20 something years. And I miss both of
mm,
them. I miss both of them. Um, and as an only child, although I have siblings that I call siblings, because we grew up together and all that, they help me out because they know I struggle with my parents being gone. Um, but they had each other. I only had me.
well, I understand that most definitely. There was my mother only had one, and that was me. Uh, I've got she adopted two girls back in 87, but I was grown,
Well,
and we
growing up, there were all hell. They used to look for me, and because my mama always brought kids in the house, so I wouldn't be alone.
right.
Um, but again, those that were closest to me were our neighbors. My mom would be parking her car in the garage, and I would jump out the car and run over their house. And then she said, "Well, send Cheryl home so she could eat." I was already sitting at the table eating. They made sure I was good. So I consider them the siblings that I never had because I'm an only child.
Hmm.
Um, and in thinking about what you're saying, I feel that. I really do.
I know how you feel. I grew up. I was the only child, but I grew up with my aunt and uncles, which I thought were actually my brothers and sisters. When you hear me say my brother or my twin, that's my uncle, but I'm a month and a week older than he is. And
Okay. You still got closer people than I do. I am an only child.
no,
The people that I grew up with, they live next door to us. We were not related at all, but I
yeah,
called them my brothers and sisters. It's two boys and a girl,
I
and
understand.
I can tell you where the key was hidden to get in the house. While my mama was fiddling and diddling trying to park in the garage, I would jump out the car and go in their house. If the door wasn't open, I jumped up, got the key, went in the house, used the bathroom, and I would be at the dinner table. I never knocked on the door.
Well,
That
they considered you family.
that was my family. Um, and I really don't talk about this much.
I, 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 rem-
I really don't.
I remember doing that once. I was eating at the neighbor's house, and I got home and got beat for the simple reason there was always food in my house, but my mom, she didn't leave the key with me that day, and I was locked out.
There was
And
always
so
food in my house.
so I went next door, And she just said she was feeding her kids anyway, a snack. She said, you want something to eat? I said, might as
Like
well.
I said, I ran in the house and used the bathroom, and the next thing you know, my mama called me. Cheryl still over there? Yeah, she's at the dinner table. Oh, and my mama over there cooking dinner. I mean, this happens several times a week. This, almost was, an everyday occurrence. Their house was my house. When they cousins came up, they was my cousins. We were really family. Um,
Well,
People don't grow up like I grew up.
right, right. I left my so-called family. Well, her brothers and sisters, I left them in 68. That's when I started living with my mother full time. And ooh, it was a little rough.
You right, G Hood. Family is not always blood, and
True.
none of them are blood, and I'm still with them.
Yes, yes.
No.
Sometimes the closest family is not family. And I
Mhm.
believe that that's one of the reasons I call a lot of people on here fam, because you're not family, but you became my family.
Yeah, honey swinger.
Yes, Sister Cheryl.
I
But
gotta give you that. Meeting you in Savannah, um, pretty much meeting pretty much most of the people in Savannah, it was very overwhelming.
yes, yes.
Because it was just a feeling of we are here for each other,
And
and
hey,
you rarely get that feeling. Just walking around the streets in your town, the streets in my town,
right, right.
and
E- Everybody actually felt love those 3 days.
yeah, we got hugs every day,
Now
real,
let's not talk about hugs. I,
real hugs.
I might get in trouble. Let's not talk about hugs.
But
It- it-
you can't replace that feeling.
yeah, that's true.
You
Because if
can't.
she shared in here, I know she probably hugging me now. Uh,
And
uh,
you actually struck a nerve with me when you said what you said.
which one?
Which nerve?
Oh, yeah,
You struck, with family.
yeah,
All our family is not blood, because
true.
those people that I call my siblings, I have no siblings. I'm an only child.
Hmm.
I am my mama's and daddy's only child. But I would jump out the car and go next door, and usually the door was open. I went over there for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and my mom be like, "Since you're home, so she can eat." Oh, she's sitting at the table right now. I was always over somebody else's house eating food,
Right, right.
but that's because I had that welcoming feeling. They
That's true. That's
they
true.
belong to me, and I belong to them.
That's true. And it's good when you find a family that accept you as one of them. Period. Hey.
What their daddy was in the army, and he bought a boat, and he bought all the kids, and I was one of them. Sailor suits, and we went out sailing on Lake Michigan on the boat, and he taught us how to cast and catch fish.
Oh, okay.
You know, but that was a feeling of the family. They grandmama came up from Louisiana. She was my grandmama, because that's what I called her, grandmama.
Yeah.
My grandmama came up from South Carolina. They called my grandmama grandmama.
Yeah.
We didn't know any different.
That's true.
Kids of the '60s, we were ignorant.
We wasn't ignorant. We
That's
just
what we did.
when you found love, you hung on to it. Plain
Yeah,
and simple.
yeah,
Now love is totally different than what we had growing up.
yeah. I'm a kid of the '60s. And it's like, that's my brother. But you ain't got no brother and sister. Oh, yes, I do. I got them. And
That's it.
I got them in more trouble than they got me in. Because they were protecting me.
Yeah, I understand that. Yes, they. Hey, I know that situation. I know the situation. Did you freeze up on me?
Okay, what was that? You got a
Oh,
brain
I
fart?
asked you. Yeah, I asked did you freeze up on me?
I didn't freeze up. You went in a
No,
circle
no, you
too.
was like that and you didn't move.
And you just went black.
Uh-oh.
But you know, people don't grow up like we grew up. And I
Mm-hmm.
grew up in the '60s. I'm a '60s baby, and everybody was family. I got my butt whooped from the bottom of the street to the top of the street, and then got whooped at home.
I remember them days. Mama Dukes used to beat me, and then she
And I
called
didn't
and
think
told
I
my
was a bad
grandmother.
child. I was just mischievous. I
Mama
wasn't
Dukes,
bad.
Mama Dukes beat me, and then she called and told my grandmother, and my grandmother beat me because Mama Dukes had to beat me. And then when my mother came around, she beat me because both of them had to beat me.
Well,
Oh.
that was when you had the telephone on the wall.
Yes, yes.
I just took care of her right now because she just did XYZ. And I would stay gone for an hour and a half, 2 hours. But by the time I got home, I done got 3 phone calls about you. I got 3 whoopings.
Hey. The link is in the chat if anybody want to come up and speak about their mother. Good time, bad time. This is the time.
I think I had a great mother. Um, Now my father spoiled the hell out of me. Um, yes, he did. And they used to argue about the stuff he would say I could do. They argued a lot about that, and I still
Now,
did it.
now think about it. If you had some brothers and sisters, you wouldn't be been able to do all that.
Exactly. Hell, life was good.
Yeah, I'm not complaining. I enjoyed it.
I mean,
Well,
I learned a lot of stuff from that. Um, as I grew older with the people that I consider my sisters and brothers. Because my brother used to teach me how to fight. Um,
hmm.
but I always would get into a fight with somebody and he would have to jump down out the tree. And he would tell me, I got him in trouble, which I did because he fought somebody that I was supposed to be fighting. I did. He's like, you just can't keep your mouth shut. And I would look at him like, what? I'm supposed to be quiet because they talking trash? Although I couldn't beat him.
But you
But
knew you had backup.
yeah, oh yes, I always knew. And he always seemed to be in the right tree at the right time. We would be fighting, because he would fight me and he would get in trouble for fighting me, but he called himself teaching me how to fight.
Yeah.
And I'd have a black eye and a busted lip teaching me how to fight. And that's what I was supposed to do to the person, because I was the one that was picking the fight. Don't get me wrong. I was the one picking the fight.
You was
But
the bully, but you was the
yeah,
bully, just didn't know how to fight.
yeah. But and he knew that. But he was in a grade older than me. But he was always there when I talked myself into something. And if it didn't look like I was winning, yep, he would descend from the tree and take care of the fight, and then he would beat me up.
You got beat up. You got beat up for starting it and not winning it.
Like, girl, you need to know who you need to fight. This girl fights. But he wasn't gonna let me be out there alone. That's what your
That's it.
family.
That's
Yeah,
it.
he wasn't gonna let me be out there alone, but he's gonna beat my butt.
Well, it's kind of best. It's best to get beat up in house than outhouse.
Beat up by somebody that loves you.
Yeah, it won't hurt as bad.
Shit, you ain't telling that's a lie.
I know because when my mama beat me, it lasts a while. She after I get a beat, she said, "Go get in the tub. Go get in the tub." And I had the marks to prove it
Oh
all.
well, my mama used to get me with a paddle, and I put books in my butt in the back of my pants, and the paddle broke and it split her hand in the thumb, and she had to go get a stitch. From then on, I got my butt whooped in the bathtub naked.
Hey, well, when I get mine, I had to be nothing but my drawers. So if I put a book or anything else back there, she see it all. And
Well,
one thing,
I tried to be creative.
and now
Again, I was her only one, and I did what even with my daddy. Even if my daddy was still living today, I still could probably get away with some stuff with him. I said some, not many, but
no,
I do miss them both.
yeah,
I really do.
I miss my mom more than I miss him. My mom, she passed in 16, and he just left last year.
Oh well,
And
you were blessed to have him a long time. My
well, no,
dad.
I didn't have him. I didn't meet my father until 73. I lived with him till 80. 80 is when I went to the military. The whole time I was in the military, the only time I heard from him is if he came down to visit his mother, then he'll contact me. Other than that, he didn't contact me anything. And when he was 2019, he was staying with this lady. My father never owned a house or anything. He would only rent. And when my mother she left Chicago, he moved in with this other lady that was her friend. And he
Mm.
stayed there and he got to where he couldn't do too much. And her daughter came in and said, "No, you got to go." Now he had other children, but none of them have a home.
Well, my mother and father stayed married until I was 21. My daddy called me maybe 5 weeks after I was 21 years old and said, "Oh, I'm divorcing your mother." I'm like, y'all niggas should have been divorced when I was in kindergarten. But my other condition to my daddy was because I was a daddy's girl, but I also know what my mama did for me in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I told him, whatever my mother asked for, do not let her call me and tell me you giving her a hard time, because then you're gonna have to deal with me. But and he did when they divorced. He did give her everything she wanted. But he died before she did. He died probably 12, 15 years before she did. And my mother's been she lived with me. So it's been about 12, 15 years since her transition.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I love both my parents, but um, I think both of them had the best intentions. They just might not have went about it the right darn way.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, we all got some downfalls, but the most important thing is when it's concerning you, they
oh
did
yeah,
all that they could do.
I was a love child.
That's it.
When my daddy died, I kept looking around because he had a long funeral because he was a deputy sheriff in his sorority and the Mason. So we was there for like 3 hours. And my play brother, one next door, He's like, who you looking for? I said, some little nigga to come run around here talking about they daddy. Cause I knew my daddy fooled around. Far as I know, he ain't never had no child. And he's been dead 20 years. I'm still looking for somebody to contact me talking about their daddy.
Well, I didn't meet her, but I heard of her. This is the daughter that's up under me that I never met. And I spoke to her on the phone and everything. And my sister that I do know, that's his daughter, she was putting up a whole bunch of fuss. And finally, I called the sister that I ever met, and I talked to her for about 5 minutes. And I told her, I said, do you want to be on this program? Do you want to come? I said, if you come here, you don't have to worry about you stay with me or whatever. She said, nope, I don't want my name on the program. I don't want nothing to do with it. He my daddy, but he ain't never had nothing to do with me. So
why are you putting up a fuss?
No, she did. No, it wasn't her that putting up the fuss. It's the sister. It's the second oldest girl.
Oh, she wanted
She wants everybody on the obituary and all that stuff. And the thing to it is, if you never done anything for them and you don't even know them, why would you want them to be on the program anyway?
Well, after my mother died, I found out a person that I have been calling my cousin is my sister. And I call her sister cousin. I mean, because she's been my cousin for, 30, 40 years. And, I even volunteered. I said, going doing DNA. She said, I already know she my mama. I'm like, well, how the hell you know? I suspected. But, okay, I'm 63. She's 83. And guess what? Her birthday is the same day as mine. Exact same day.
Lucky coincidence.
You call that luck. Right. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not mad about it. But my mama told a lie. My grandmama told a lie. And she said, I already know that that's my mother. I was like, so you don't want to prove it? She said, and what would that do? Nothing, because you ain't going to inherit nothing.
That's it.
I mean, so now she's my cousin's sister.
Yeah, I'm known as Uncle Brother.
Okay. Same bad verbiage.
That's it.
But we all live through stuff, but those people that can prove it or deny it or whatever, they gone.
Yeah, that's true. And the thing to this, the best thing to do is just keep living your life. That's part of that memory right there. That's a memory that never come clear. So hey, let it just stay in the memory.
Well, she said she always knew somewhere in the back of her mind that my mother was her mother. So, like I said, she's my cousin's sister.
Hey.
And, that's what I call her when I call her up. What's up, cuz? Sister?
Well, my mom almost became my mama's sister. But eventually, I found out the truth way before anything took place. But
I mean, and that's a good thing. And sometimes I think my mama was telling me stuff, but she was going all around the world with whatever she was telling me.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and I did listen to the old folks, even my grandmama. I do not know what you're talking about.
The older folks didn't know how to keep the skeleton in the closet.
Oh yeah, they did, because they confused you when they told it. They did not tell me that this woman that I've been thinking been my cousin for 35 years is actually my sister. She and I figured it out after my mama died because
Yeah.
my mama lived with me while she was in that transition, and she used to do screaming and hollering and fussing and talking in the middle of the night. And I would sit up till 3, 4, 5 o'clock listening to her yell. And I would actually ask her questions, and sometimes she would answer.
Hmm. Yeah. Well,
And I
on
was,
my mother, on her way out too, she was in the bed, but she was screaming at her daddy and everything. And some things make me feel like something went on because I find out uh, when I was young and my grandparents split up. I'm trying to figure out why my father had to pay child support for me.
is that a southern thing?
No, we was in New York.
Okay. Uh, we was in, well, when my mother passed, we were down here in Atlanta. Um, but I remember my cousin's sister. My mother, when she was a infant, she bought all her little baby shit and all her uh up to 8th grade. And then she got mad with my mama because she stopped speaking to my mother because she stopped supporting her. And I'm like, why would she do that? Because I know my mother. Um, but we kind of sort of figured it out. And I told her, we can do DNA, and yeah, you're gonna have to figure out who your daddy is, although I have an idea who he is. And she didn't want to know. She said, I'm gonna just accept you as my sister. And I was like, okay. Because I still have my mama's toothbrush and her hairbrush. We can figure out who your daddy was. But who she think her daddy is ain't her daddy. And who I think her daddy is, that's her daddy.
Well, I'll put it this way. It confused me. Now my grandmother and grandfather had 12 kids. 13 actually, one died at birth. But she raised 12 kids. Now when they split, they was in New York. When they both split up, my grandfather had to pay child support for me. But what about the other kids? There was no paperwork on child support for them, but there was child support for me.
Okay, but back then, and trust me, I used to work for child support. I know. Uh, Birth certificates back in the day, wasn't a big deal. We didn't get social security numbers until we was 9, 10 years old or later.
Hmm.
Um, it was not an issue about the birth certificate as well. Because you know all my nephew's girlfriends, they'd be mad as the devil with me. Oh well, we can get blood tests and see if that's your kid. Even though I know you been with him, I don't know. I ain't with you 24/7. You might have
Yeah.
been with somebody else. My even my own 2 children. Oh, you want blood tests? Let's go. Let's get them. I know what the hell I was doing. Do you know what you were doing?
Well, I can't deny nothing because I know both of mine. I know to deal with them. And thanks to me
Stop
being over,
being good.
hey, thanks to me being overseas and she couldn't drive and couldn't go nowhere, so I know where they came from.
Honey. Yeah, a lot of my nephew's girlfriends, they can't stand me because a couple of them have been proven that wasn't their kid. That you talking about? Oh, he gonna give me this? No, he don't give you shit. He ain't gonna give you nothing until it's proved to be his child. When it's proved to be his child, I will get on my nephew about that. And most time my nephews listen to me. No, we not just saying just because you lay down with him 2, 3 times that's his. Nope.
I understand. Especially Especially if you got some money or something to leave behind. Hey, I understand it.
Well, I had a nephew. What's the black college in Alabama? Leeds. Is that what it's called?
I'm not sure.
Well, whatever. I had a nephew at Leeds. He ended up staying with me for 6 months until I arranged for him to have a blood test for that child. We saw the girl in the parking lot, and then she went and ran around in between cars. But we went on upstairs and registered ourselves, and then she came in after we did. And I asked her, could I see the baby? And she said yes. And oh Lord, when that blood test came back and it wasn't the baby, I thought that girl was gonna, she was gonna blow something out of her sky. This was gonna go like, but I was
Because
like, no, you are not making him pay anything. My baby need diapers. Well, bitch, you need to get a job. That's your baby. That's not his baby. Oh, he got curly hair. Honey, that little thing's hair look like this right now. No, that is not. You see my hair. My nephew's hair is just like mine, and this baby hair at 6 months was naps. No, that's not his baby. But that's why we taking blood tests. And when she found out, because she was trying to blackmail his mother, I told her, no, do not play into it. Just act like you ain't got nothing.
hey, I understand that too. But like I said, I thank God I didn't fall in that situation. And as I say, and that's my brother right there beeping in. Uh, as I said, I'm glad I didn't fall in that situation or anything. And hey,
Well, the way I was raised, I would never, I knew both my children. Yeah, y'all want blood tests? You gonna have to pay for them, but you can get them. Because I was always accused of doing something.
oh,
But that's y'all problem, cause y'all insecure. I ain't did nothing. Okay, them damn, and I work for child support. Them darn tests is $600-700. You go ahead on and request them. Go right ahead.
long, hey, long as you pay for it, you can have it.
Exactly. You're gonna have to pay that $700 and you're gonna have to pay child support. And gonna put this child on insurance. Yeah, go
Hey.
ahead. I didn't have a problem. So, because I knew what I was doing, sort of.
Kind of, sort of. That's where we go.
Well, I mean, I wasn't married. I did get married, but the person I married is not the father of my children. Any of my children. I got 2 baby daddies. And we talking 16, 17 years apart.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. You admit it. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But
It is what it is.
we done drifted. We done drifted away. But we were talking. We
Oh,
supposed to be
no,
talking
no,
about the
we
good
haven't.
times.
That is still a mother.
True enough. That is true.
That we ain't drifted. Is we got different versions of mothers.
Right. 24/7.
You know,
And it's
and the
especially.
mother that I was, there's another version of the mother that is going on right now. Not that I agree with it, but yeah, it is what it is. You reading all this shit? It's a lot of kids that have dads that not. You right, G Hud. You right.
It's all a lot.
And mothers do
Kids
that
that.
to dads who have money. Trust me, ain't neither one of my kids' dad had money. So I wasn't doing it for the yell of it.
Hey, Well, that goes
I
back
was,
to my
I was
thing right
doing
there.
it because you was their dad.
There go greed again. Make women want to do some anything. But that's all right. Miss Cheryl, I'm glad
Oh
you came up.
yeah,
Nobody else want to
I,
come up.
I just had to I had to holler at you because you actually did hit a heartstring. Cause yeah, I do miss my mom.
Yeah, I miss my mom
You
too.
know, I also miss my dad too, and I ain't gonna pit them against each other.
Like anything, I miss my mom, and I wish my mom was still here. If she
Me
was still here, he would have never been here. But
too. I can't say that because I had both my kids when my mom was here.
well, the thing
But
to it
again,
is,
they're 17 years apart.
yeah,
You know, and my son always claimed Granny didn't love me like he loved Vicky. But okay, she had 17 years with Vicky. She had 2 years with you, maybe three. And
yeah.
that don't mean she didn't love you.
Just
But that's
that you was closer to her.
yeah, and I mean, and that's how he feels, and I can't tell him not to feel another way.
Yeah, that's true.
I really can't. Um, but Granny did love him because he was a boy, and first of all, she was shocked that I was having another child after 17 years.
Hmm.
Um, and then it was a boy because my daddy was still living when my son was born, but back in the day, he was that daddy for her and me, but he didn't live long enough to be that daddy, granddaddy, daddy for him.
Yeah,
So I do get that feeling that he feels because I didn't even let my son go to my daddy's funeral because he was like 4 years, going on 4 years old.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I kind of keep even my grandkids. I told them y'all wasn't going because they're so young.
yeah. I mean, he knew him, but he didn't know him like Vicky knew him. He didn't know him
Hmm.
like that. Basically, he was there because when he died, Vicky was in college.
Hmm. Okay.
Um, and he was like 2 or 3. So he wouldn't have known really what was going on. So, I
Hmm.
mean, parents do have to make decisions.
Yeah. And I wish these parents today will pick up on what the senior parents did back then, because right now I even watch my granddaughter, my one and only granddaughter until June or July. I'm gonna have another granddaughter, but I wish these girls now will pick up some of the stuff that their parents taught them and not be their children's friend and be their parent.
Thank
Because
you. Exactly.
out of all my grandchildren, the only one I can jump and shout about is the one that lives here. He's an A student. He's you name it, he's at. Uh, he he just brought home a certificate from 4-H and all that stuff. I didn't even think he was doing, and then find out what in September he's supposed to be bringing a sheep home. I'm not a sheep farmer, but now I guess I'll be a sheep farmer in September.
Well, my daughter lives in Colorado, but she said, "Oh, if I'm fixing to have a baby," which she said at 40, she's cutting it off. She said, "But if I'm fixing to have a baby, my mama gonna be somewhere close by me because I don't know what I'm doing."
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I said, yet you come and got your brother when I let him cry because you was mad because I was letting him cry. I was like, the nigga was gonna go back to sleep. Okay, you wanted to play at night. Come get him. Here go his bottle. There go his diaper. And she would bring him back upstairs when she was getting ready to go to high school. But she
No.
would fuss with me. But she always tells me, if I'm having a baby, oh, I'm gonna be somewhere close by my mama.
Yeah, my daughter called.
And my son tells me the same thing, and I'm looking at them like, oh, y'all some strange ass creatures.
Yeah, my daughter, she called my wife the other day and talking about some. Now, ma, you know you need to be here. When I had this baby, you and daddy need to be here. But you, ma, you know you need to be here. I said, oh, okay. So I guess
Well,
she'll be
see, you
there.
said okay. See, I ain't said nothing. I just be shaking my head because I listen at him. I'm like, I hear you. I
You
don't
know, I
say.
said,
I do not say okay because if you want me to be near you, you gonna come down here because the girl live in Colorado. I ain't going to Colorado. It's cold in Colorado. Now my son, he got a better advantage. He does live here. But that
well,
girl in Colorado, she ain't finna have no baby. Mm-mm.
well, my daughter's in Savannah, so it ain't no problem.
Yeah, I mean, I would even do Savannah, but I ain't doing Colorado.
I
Not,
don't
not, not
blame you.
unless you had that thing in the summertime, and y'all ain't got that long of a summer.
Hey,
So unless you let me bring her home with me, you gonna be stuck waking up with that thing.
hey, 24/7 until it get 18.
Yeah. I
Growing with Hudson, you want sheep. You might be able to get
I
this
want
one.
chickens, Hudson. I want chickens. I don't know about a sheep because you got to shave them things.
Yeah, it depends on how big it get. The wool get, but I hope I
Eventually,
don't.
if you just let it stay there, you still gonna have to shave it.
Well, if it get too big, I think it'll fit in my freezer.
Well, what don't put wool in the freezer for? Because I can't eat wool.
It ain't gonna be no wool when it go in the freezer.
What it gonna be?
None but some meat. It'll be going in
Okay,
the freezer.
you got me come boo boo. You shave the hair off a sheep, and it's gonna turn into meat. What
Yeah,
you
after
what you smoking?
after you butcher it out and everything, yes, it will turn into meat.
Okay, butchering the body of the sheep, yes, that's meat. But what you gonna do with all that hair?
Burn it, bury it. It don't
Oh,
matter.
no. That now that's a waste of time. Although I don't want a sheep, but
I
no.
want I want the meat. I don't want the hair.
Oh,
Goats goat
I'm good with the meat too. I'm
eh,
good with that too.
goats have hair on it too, but I don't want the hair. It's the goat I want, the goat meat.
Yeah,
And
I'm good with the goat, but the goat don't have as much hair as the sheep. No.
Quattro XXV33, I mean 111, they got some good weed in Colorado.
Yes, they do. I can testify to that. I've been there. I'm going back. They got some
Now,
good weed in Chicago. They got some good weed in Vegas. I can tell you where it's at.
now I'm gonna ask Quattro what he know about weed in Colorado.
He must have been there or be there.
That's my son. I
Oh,
want I
really?
want I want to know
Well,
what he
then
know.
he either have been there or he is there. Yes, they do. And you can walk around on the street and smoke it. I've been to Colorado. I know. Yeah.
Uh,
He ain't
I
lying.
don't I don't think he ever been there.
Well, he got a good source.
Hands in the dirt, woolly meat. Now I
Yeah,
don't watch it.
you right, Stacy. Willie,
I don't watch
I'm
it.
not doing Willie meat.
I don't watch enough Asian cooking shows where I can take that meat off, burn the hair and the meat together, scrape it all off, then recook it.
See,
Hey,
I'm not going through all that trouble. I'm gonna get rid of the hair first and sell it to somebody to, y'all can make sweaters or whatever the hell y'all do with wool. and then I will cook the meat. I have no problem with cooking.
But it's only gonna be one sheet.
And
That's barely enough. I think that's barely enough hair to make me a sweater.
I ain't looking for me no sweater. Y'all do what y'all want to with it. Just get it off so I don't have to deal with it when I put this thing on fire. Okay? Make it simple, J3.
Oh, I am. That's why I
That,
said
no, no,
skin.
no, that's not simple because what you talking about is setting the little thing on fire because he got hair. No, that's not simple. That's cruelty to animals.
No,
Cut all his hair off so it can be used for something.
now
And,
we
and
just
then soak that little the meat that in some vinegar and some seasoning. Couple days.
uh, we
Start.
just skinned the goat. We just skinned the goat, and we did not save the hair nor the skin.
Well, that's on you, but I ain't cooking no goat with no darn hair. But trust me, I done cooked one. He did not have no hair. He had plenty of meat, no hair.
The market, yeah, they sell whole lambs and goats at the market. Yeah,
It Stacy, is that market out in Cobb County or Douglasville? I want to say it's Douglasville.
pause.
Yeah, what about a possum?
No, we ain't cleaning no possum around here.
Oh, I clean possum. I eat them too. Okay, Duval. I'm gonna leave you alone, J3. You made me have a moment, and now we done gone way left field.
Yeah, I see.
Where your buddy
The,
Odom? He okay?
the only thing I could say right now is if my mother was around, she'd be rolling on the floor laughing about us talking about goats and sheep and stuff. She'd be rolling
If
laughing.
my mother was around, she'd be up here in the conversation,
Hey.
telling you the same thing. Oh no, we not doing that. Burning no hair. No, we not doing that. Yeah, we gonna use the hair. That would be
Hey.
my mother.
Hey. My buddy, he been kind of busy. He got some stuff going on that he doing at home and all that. So I don't know when he'll
Well,
come back.
tell him he's in my prayers, whatever that is.
Okay.
I came up here because, like I said, I don't get touched very often by people
Yeah.
that, you know.
I talked to him earlier today. He was doing good.
Okay, well, he's in my prayers, but
All right.
you touched me when you was talking about mamas. Not many,
Yeah.
no, not many men talk about your mama or their mamas like you did, and I felt that. That's why I came up.
Yeah. Hey, plain and simple, my mama taught me how to be a man. And she taught me some of the women aspects too. She taught me how to cook. She taught me how to sew. Uh, what else? There's a bunch of stuff she taught me.
Well, I mean, I have met you in person, and you kind, you sweet, and you is important. Ain't that what Stacy said?
And and
But
slanging that honey.
and I got some of the honey slinger honey in there. What the hell bad could I say about
Let me stop. Let me stop acting up.
you? I'm dropping down. But good to see you. Good to have
You too, sis, and I appreciate you coming up.
All right.
If
Have a
anybody,
good one.
you too, sis. I
I'm
appreciate you now.
I'm always in the background.
Yes, ma'am. If anybody want to come up and talk about their mamas, I'm gonna give you a little while, and we can talk about your mamas, the goodness and the memories of your mama. The link is in the chat if you want to come up. I enjoyed talking about my mama, and I'll let y'all see my mama again. That's the lady right there. That's my mama. If she was here in person next side, you would think she was a giant, but she gonna let you know I ain't nothing but 5'11". All the people that came in the chat, I want to thank you for coming. I enjoy you being here. I hope you enjoyed the chat. Nikki, thank you for being here. Urban Garden Chronicles, thank you for being here. Hands in the Dirt, thank you for being here. Mike's Chaotic Garden, thank you for being here. Duval, City Girl Gardener, thank you for being here. Quattro, thank you for showing up, bro. Growing with Hudson, thank you for being here. K. Renee Garden, thank you for being here. Growing with Hudson, thank you for being here. Diva in the Dirt, nice to see you, sis. Thanks for being here. Backyard Gardener, thank you for being here. I want to thank everybody for showing up and just the memories of my mother. Everybody got some memories of their mother, and hey, that's what we got to live on now. If your mother's here, you're still making memories. If your mother's gone, there's a whole bunch of memories you got, and you're going to keep going on. Have a good night, Hands in the Dirt. We are about to get up out of here. I want y'all to be blessed. Have a good night. And all you mothers out there, y'all have a beautiful day tomorrow. Let your children, your husband know whatever. It's your day. It's not your birthday, but it's your day. I love y'all. Y'all be blessed. And I thank God for y'all. Good night, everybody.